Hi everyone, I'm here with Chris De Celis from The Avenue, located over in Castle Hill. It's a fascinating area that you work in with very high value properties. And it seems like during this pandemic, the market was buoyant, was in fact hot. I'm really curious to see what are your thoughts coming out of this pandemic? What's actually happening in your area, and how are you guys going regarding listings, and what's the feedback?
Well, yeah, talk about red hot. There's one suburb, Bella Vista, that in the last 12 months has jumped from mid 1.5s as a median house price to 2.3.
Wow.
Yeah, so huge jump. Now we're talking across Sydney, New South Wales, about a 20% on average jump in prices over the past 12 months. So for us, obviously, that's always been about a lack of, basic demand supply. We've had over the past 12 months, not a huge amount of supply and a massive amount of demand on the back of low interest rates, a high level of confidence. What's happened more recently, though, there's a bit of a warning shot from APRA, who have sent out saying we're going to make it a little bit more difficult from the 1st of November to reduce your borrowing capacity. So they're factoring in this bubble that may be occurring to prevent us falling off a cliff as a market down the track. So they're actually tightening up the lending criteria there. That's starting to have some impact now, given that 1st of November is only around the corner. Basically, what it's saying is that the average buyer will be able to borrow 5% less from the 1st of November to what they can borrow today.
Right. Wow.
So, so that's going to be a factor, and you're going to see a slow decline, I would imagine, in the market because of those strings being pulled. But look, in the market, give you some numbers on average. So there's a couple of markets that are playing out because people look at a market as one. Actually, there's multiple markets, and the two markets that we're seeing at the moment are worlds apart. So we've got apartments. Give you an idea, over the weekend, we've got a number of apartments on the market. Our average number through those opens was 3 people per open.
Wow.
We've got houses on the market, and our average sale price, you're right, we're sort of in that sort of low 2s is where our average sale price is. So around that 2 million mark. The average numbers that we had were 33 numbers. So the numbers are still very strong.
Yes.
Yeah. Although buyers now, given spring, the time of year, and that we're out of COVID, there's a few more options for them. So those numbers are high, but they're not. We've got an auction this weekend. They're not necessarily converting to buyers registering to bid like they had been previously. Because there's more options. They could be more picky than what they could have been 3 months ago or 2 months ago.
Okay.
So we're getting much higher numbers for houses, and townhouses. We're getting similar for houses. I think we're at 35. So they're strong. Townhouses and houses numbers are strong. Apartments are still lagging behind, and have been for a number of years.
Okay. All right. So are you seeing an increase in listings coming through, or it's still pretty much the same, and it's just more of an increase from buyers looking for properties?
No, so we're finding it's probably a shift. I don't think the buyers are moving a lot. I think we're still dealing with the same pool of buyers. We're getting, those types of numbers pre sort of last week when we opened back up under sort of more normal out of COVID. So it's got to do with more supply. So we've sort of within a period of a few weeks, we doubled our stock levels within our office.
Wow.
That we were carrying, that we're currently carrying, and we're going to be doing that again over the next few weeks.
Right.
So, and I've spoken to other agents outside that I know, and they're in a similar position where there's more stock hitting the market, which means that buyers have more choice, and that only means, and we always were prepared for this, that look, we're not going to see immediate drop in prices, but we're going to see less buyers competing for less properties.
Yeah.
So we had, we've got, just that situation, which is fine. It's still a very good market. We haven't seen any changes in prices, but I think that the banks may change that as of 1st of November, may start to try and influence the market a bit more.
Okay. So it's from, I suppose, if you were advising people what you think about what they call the hills area, it's still a very, very buoyant market. And the opportunities are increasing. Is that what you're saying for the buyers?
Yeah, there's more options for buyers because, people were concerned through COVID about having people through their home.
Yes.
They had genuine concerns, but they also had the logistics of by appointment only, which meant, if you're getting 40 groups through a property through an auction campaign, which we were at the time, that's 40 half-hour inspections. So that calculates to, 20 hours where that owner has to actually leave their house. They had to leave their house. It wasn't all that convenient or fun.
Yeah.
Not fun for the agents either. We celebrated last week when we got the green light for open homes again, because, we were spending, on a campaign of showing buyers 40 hours.
Wow.
And that affected the buyers, it affected the agents, it affected the owners. So owners are a bit more, obviously we've got the end of year that's coming, fast approaching. So there's a bit of a deadline, a bit of urgency. And owners are just a bit more comfortable about the whole COVID situation and being able to have open homes again. We've got our first on-site auction on the weekend, on Saturday in Castle Hill, since coming out of lockdown. So that's going to be fun to go on site again, as opposed to the online auctions that we've been getting quite familiar with and comfortable with, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, it's really, really good chatting to you, Chris, to actually get an idea what's actually happening in the hills area. It seems like, it's an area that's not going to decline much in pricing, as I can see, and it has a consistent demand from people wanting to move into the area or move up or move down. If people want to get a hold of you, what's the best way to get in touch with you at the Avenue?
Yeah, look, direct, mobile phone is the best one.
What's your number?
0430 119 600. So that's the best way. Either text or call me.
Yep.
And happy to have a chat and talk about their property goals, whether it's buying or selling or leasing or renting.
Okay, fantastic. All right. Well, I really thank you for your time today and to give our listeners an idea of what's actually happening in the hills area, because it's a booming area and I know it very well. But I look forward to seeing you very, very shortly.
Mate, good talking to you. Peace. Take care.
Thank you.